Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll discuss another important topic, that is state and sovereignty in ancient India. That is IGNO MA Political Science discussion. So state and sovereignty in ancient India. In ancient India, the state was mainly it was family based or kinship. Kinship was the main factor of familial ties, and society was mainly divided in close family ties. And what determined these family ties was wealth and environment, like in which environment the size of the family depended on wealth and environment, like how much wealth a particular family has, the size will be much bigger according to the wealth. And slowly, due to more trade and like more interaction between the different communities, different families, the society become much closer, and the need of a state was felt by the people. In the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata, there is a particular incident or reference to a particular incident called Matsya Anyaya. It means that the smaller fishes are eaten by the larger fishes. Means if a society, if the smaller fishes are not united, then they will be gulped up by the bigger fishes. So, state in ancient Vedic civilization was mainly like the people in the Vedic society felt that they need a state, and it had both divine origin theory and social contract. You can say the state was formed either on the basis of divine origin of the king or monarchy or social contract. And people, there is reference called there is reference like you find reference of people praying to God to appoint a king to rule over them, because uh, the society was getting destroyed or annihilated because of misrule or misgovernance, as there are no leaders. So people literally prayed to their gods for a king. And in the Matsya Anyaya, in Shanti Parva, the state was divided into 7 units. The 7 units are like the king. It was on the, like it was the top. Then there was the king and his Amatya. Amatya means his officials, royal officials, Amatya. And the next up under his territory. Territory is a state. In order to have a state, you must have a defined territory, and that is called Janapada. Now, to run a state, what we need? We need finances, wealth, and that was the kosha or the royal treasury. Royal treasury. So king, Amatya, Janpada, and kosha, the fourth, and fifth. It was the now kosha. Now there has to be some uh, rules and regulations to maintain the people, and it was called the danda, or law and punishment, danda. And the last is like mitra. All the states should have some allies, or they should have close friendship with neighboring countries in order to function properly. So these were some stratifications and divisions of the state: Janpada, Amatya, king, the Raja or king, or then Janpada, then Kosha, then Danda, and Mitra. These were some factors which defined ancient Indian state. So in ancient India, we find both reference to divine origin, theory of state, and reference to social contract. And people actually, we can mainly say that people relied on God. The king was thought as godly. He had some divine powers in ancient India. The state was mainly, initially it was a clan based or family based, which based on wealth or territory, and slowly, due to emergence of more communication, trade, and commerce, people tended to form bigger societies, which ultimately turned into states. So that was what the ancient how state and sovereignty emerged in ancient India. We'll continue the discussion. Please mention your likes. Do like and subscribe the channel. And if you have doubts or any suggestions, you can write in the comment section. Thank you and take care.